it's your boy Speech. Welcome back to our brighter community, man. I want to talk to y'all about something that goes against what most people have been taught their entire life. They try to tell you find a decent job and stay there 20 to 30 years and then retire. Basically, of course, there's little nuances and stuff like that, but I just don't recommend that at all. I completely rebuke that idea of sticking to one job, trying to hurry up and find and rush into a job that you're gonna stay in for years and years and years. I believe it's way more valuable, especially in your late teens, early 20s, to work as many jobs as humanly possible. Not because you're flaky or lazy, but because it's the best way to stack up as much experience as possible. Figure out what you like and set yourself up for high-paying, long-term careers that actually fit you as a person. So check me out. If you didn't go to college, like your boy's Speech, your job becomes your education. Every place you work at is like another classroom. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, that's a mouthful, the average young worker between ages 18 and 24 changes jobs 5 to 7 times. So job hopping isn't unusual at that age. It's actually kind of expected from most employers, at least. But most people just bounce around without learning anything. But if you're intentional, every job becomes another skill, another lesson, and another connection that builds you for the future. And that's why I don't regret working 17 different jobs by age 22 or 23, something like that. I'll give you the list of all the jobs that I worked. Well, technically my first real hustle was cutting grass. I cut grass for about $20 to $50 a yard, depending on the size, of course. But I don't consider that like a job that I've worked, because I was basically my own boss. But I was borrowing my neighbor's lawnmower. But anyway, the point is I got that experience out the way. But my first job, which I got a lot of stories on, is Sonic. I learned speed, customer service, and patience. A lot of patience. If you heard my story time about Sonic, you know I had some patience. My second job was the Family Dollar Distribution Center. It's a hard labor, endurance, and teamwork. I was working 12-hour shifts, 5 to 6 days a week. Mandatory overtime. I hated that. My third job was Goodwill. It taught me customer service and stuff like that. But I actually went back to school. I'm a 7th grade dropout. Well, I was taken out of school at 7th grade. So I went back to school to get my GED. So I quit working the distribution center and I started working at Goodwill while getting my GED. And that was before Goodwill became what it is today. I don't know if that's everywhere, but the location I was originally working at, we were doing it in a way to actually help the homeless people and help the people in need. And nowadays it's like, it's a store. Like, it's more expensive than regular stores these days. My fourth job, I believe, was Church's Chicken. It was fast food again, but it kind of sharpened my discipline. It was a lot of things that I did there as well. My fifth job was Candlewood Suites. It was a hotel job. I was a front desk agent, so that taught me hospitality and stuff like that. Kind of how to be professional, problem solving a little bit. You had to dress decent every day. That was the first job that I actually had to like have my own wardrobe of nice clothes. Like other jobs, it was a uniform, so it's way more simple. My sixth job was Smoothie King. I worked that while working at the hotel. I've worked a lot of times. I worked jobs twice, but yeah, that was a decent job. My seventh job, I worked as a DoorDasher. I was DoorDashing full time. I forgot the reason why I had to go full time. I did a tank cleaning job. That was another 12-hour job again. My ninth job was construction, I believe. My 10th job was Popeye's Chicken. I went back to fast food. Sometimes you got to swallow your pride and do what pays the bills. Never be afraid to go back down. Like, I know a lot of people who be like, man, I'll never go back to fast food. I was one of those people. But when I absolutely had to, guess what I did? I went back to fast food. I went back to jobs that I said I wouldn't do, and I'll give reasons why later on. I believe I'm on job number 11. The 11th job I did was insurance. I was an insurance agent selling life insurance. And I actually worked for 2 different companies, but it didn't really sit right with me. I didn't like it. My 12th job is working offshore in the Gulf of Mexico at a job called Gulf Offshore Logistics. My 13th job was a Family Dollar store, like the actual location. And that's because I moved and stuff like that. I can get into that in another video. And my 14th job was an office custodian, and I was moving furniture. Again, I was working, at that time I was actually working 3 jobs. I was still working Family Dollar store, but I was a office custodian. I cleaned churches and stuff like that. And then after that, what number I'm on, 14, 15? I think my 15th job, I was a delivery driver for Amazon, which that was cool, and it taught me a lot of things. Again, each job, they taught me something. I brought something from that job, and I wanted to get as much experience as possible. I never left the job without having another job. Then my 16th job was a UPS driver right out of Amazon. And then my final job that I worked is I think number 17 or 18 or 16, 17. I was a truck driver, which is what I currently do now. It's consistent, it pays well, and it gives me the freedom to think, save money, and build my future. So this is a job that I currently been at for about going on 3 years now. And yeah, I love this job. So, you know, by doing that, now I kind of find a job that I feel is right for me. Some of those jobs I hated, some I actually really enjoyed, but every single one made me sharper and more versatile in some type of way, and harder to break. But here's what I want you to take away. I want you to work hard anywhere and everywhere, whether it's fast food, offshore, be the best at everything. Everything. Like literally, if you out there flipping burgers, flip them burgers like you own that joint. Like this is your restaurant. That reputation follows you. And stay long enough to learn something. I recommend staying at a job for about 6 to 9 months. That's what I personally did. 9 months was my record before being a truck driver. And hey, hear me out. I never got fired. 6 to 9 months is long enough to learn the ropes and get a solid reference and actually add something to your resume. Now, the reason I say 6 to 9 months, because in 6 to 9 months, you can pretty much master whatever job it is that you're doing. And once you're ready to leave that job and do something else, you can put that on your resume. And personally, I extend the amount of time that I actually have worked a job to help get other jobs. But 6 to 9 months, you can pretty much master it. So if they're looking to test you on your experience, 6 to 9 months, you know exactly the same thing you would know if you were there 5 years for most jobs. And never quit without a backup. Always line up another job before you walk out. That way you never lose momentum or end up stuck with no income. Personally, I've never been fired. I've always quit a job, but I've also never quit a job without having a second job in place. I already put in the application, I already did the interview, and I'm already hired to where most of the time they already gave me a start date. So if you don't have a start date and you don't have another job, don't just quit. And if you feel somewhere down the line, somewhere somebody's talking about this rumor that you might get fired, or you feel like you might get fired, go ahead and start looking for another job ASAP. Put in the application to do all that and quit. Do not get fired. Some employers will I don't know how it works, but they can have it to where other people can see that you got fired. So do not get fired by any means necessary if you can avoid it. And another thing, don't let pride stop you. Like I said before, there was many times that I said I would not work fast food again. And guess what? I ended up back where I had to be. Pride doesn't pay the bills, discipline does. I know a couple of different friends that I used to work with and stuff. Like they'll say the same thing, like I would never go back to fast food. And then they ended up being without a job for a while. And there's plenty of fast food jobs hiring, but they told themselves they want to stick to their word. Now, I love sticking to your word. Be a man of your word. But certain things you got to have some type of leverage with. And while I got a whole nother job and I'm making money, like they're sitting at their people house playing the game, chilling. And I'm like, bro, you better do what you got to do. And because I worked other jobs, it gave me opportunities to get different jobs, because now I'm making some kind of income. Now I can keep my phone turned on. Now maybe if I got a car, you can put gas in your car. And I rode a bicycle and walked to work for many years, like many years. So you don't have to have a car, but if you do have a car, that way you're keeping gas in your car. You can buy essentials and stuff like that. Always have a job. It's better, in my opinion, to have a lower paying job while moving up the ladder, even if you got to tell them you got to do part-time. People say, oh, I don't want to get mentally stuck in that job. If you're the type of person where you get mentally stuck in the job, maybe don't get another job, I guess, if that's truly who you are, but I just doubt that. Like, get a job, work part-time, work as minimum of hours that you can, and then get another job while looking for another job. That way you still got some type of momentum, because once you stop, it's easy to fall back and get lazy and get used to, oh, I'm chilling, relying on other people. Get another job, even if you got to go back to a job that you said you would not go back to. Maybe don't go back to that specific job if there's coworkers you're trying to avoid, but get another job in that same, area. Like if you worked at this Popeyes, work at a different Popeyes. Okay, so another thing, and I hope I'm not talking too fast. Maybe I need to slow it down a little bit. But another thing, if you really want a job, call the company once or twice a week. Even if they tell you not to call, because if they ever need somebody last minute or anything, guess what name is radiating throughout the building? Your name. I'll give you the perfect example. This is exactly what I do, right? I remember the most distinct one to me was the Family Dollar Distribution Center. And this is because this was the first job that I did this with. And it was my second job. But so I called the distribution center, I think on a Wednesday. Like, try to call early in the morning because normally that's when the managers are in. But I call them like, hey, this is blank blank. This is so-and-so. I'm calling to check on the status of my application. Say that exact line every time. Hey, this is first and last name. I am calling to check on the status of my application. Write that down if you need to. I am first name and last name. I am calling to check on the status of my application. The reason you do that is, again, because you want your name to be recognized. You want your name to be ringing the bell to where they're like, man, XYZ keep on calling. And guess what? They can't, most companies, I don't know, that maybe they can start to now, but most companies cannot block your number because it is like a public line. So they can't just block you or stop you from calling, or you just star 69 them. But I will call once a week, sometimes twice a week, like on a Monday and a Friday, or just Wednesday, or you can switch it up. One week call Monday, next week Tuesday, next week Wednesday. That way you're trying to reach different people, get different ears. But at the Family Dollar Distribution Center, they literally told me, hey, we're going to review your application. It takes, I think they said like 2.5 months to 3 months, and then you got to put in another application. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. The next week I called again. Hey, this is first and last name, calling, checking the status of my application. Oh, well, you don't have to keep calling, Hey, good morning. It's first and last name. I'm just calling to check on the status of my application. And I kept doing it over and over and over. And they kept telling me, hey, you don't have to keep calling. You don't have to keep calling. And guess what? Finally, somebody, I believe when I called, somebody answered. It was like, yeah, come in today. Or can you come in today? I was like, yes, I can. I went in today. They're like, hey, Mr. First and last name. Like, they know, they knew me already. So it's like, you have to be consistent. You have to be persistent. Don't take no for an answer. Most jobs you can get away with doing that. Like some jobs, like if you're trying to get a corporate job or something crazy like that, maybe that won't work. But again, this video, I'm more specifically talking to like your late teens, early 20s. So if you're trying to like go work offshore on a boat, if you're trying to put in an application to a trucking company, if they hire you with no experience, if you're trying to get hired at a fast food place, they come and go. Like most entry-level jobs, if you're trying to be an entry-level welder and stuff like that, if you call it and you drive them crazy on a public line, star 69, whatever. By the way, if you haven't heard of star 69, that's something that you used to do back in the day that still works today. Star 69 and then type in their phone number, and it's the caller ID won't show up. But yeah, just call, be consistent. Every single time, hey, this is first and last name. I'm calling to check on my status. I'm calling to check on the status of my application. They're gonna remember your name, and you're gonna be one of the first people they want to hit up. And that's another reason why you do want to practice being your absolute best self, no matter what job you work at, even if you hate the job. Just when you're at work, focus in, because when you finally do get that job that's high paying that you've been calling every single week about, you want to be able to show up and show out. But if you're not used to working hard because you slack, you're going to create that bad habit of slacking. So when you finally get that yes and you get your foot in the door, you're going to be the first one they let go if you're not the type of person to work hard. By the way, research shows that employees who take on diverse job experiences early in life develop stronger problem-solving skills and adaptability later in their careers. So if you're working like a ton of different jobs all over the place, like me, they're not like fast food, like it's so diverse. Once you finally do get a job that you like, it's like there's nothing that can surprise you, because you can do it. It doesn't matter what it is, you're gonna get the job done. Like, bro, get as many jobs as possible in your early career, early in life, I mean. And by the time you're in your mid-20s, you'll already have a resume stacked with experience. Employers see that and think like, this person can adapt, they can grind hard, and they've proven that they're not afraid of work. But this isn't just about the employer, it's about you. And another quick tip, because I know a lot of y'all probably already thinking like, man, you over here lying. Because if you got a resume this big, or maybe old heads gonna be watching the video and like, bro, you're lying, because if you got a resume this big, it's gonna look bad on you. Like, it's gonna look, why would I hire you? You're gonna quit in 6 to 9 months. I don't condone lying, but on a resume, on an application, lie on that mug, boy. You better tell a story on that mug. I'll put it to you like this, right? I work 17 different jobs. I am a truck driver now. I lied on every single application that I ever could to get the job. Like, I tell the truth, tell the truth at work, but if they ask about that, I just try to stick to it. But basically, by having a strong resume like that with so many different jobs, any job that I'm applying to, I use the hardest job. Like when I was trying to get working offshore, since offshore is like a 12-hour a day job for like a month, 12 hours a day for a month, and then you get 2 weeks off. I told them I worked Sonic because I wanted to tell them an entry-level job. So I did put Sonic on there. I think I put like a year and a half. And then my next job that I put on there, I put the distribution center where I worked 12 hours a day, and I specified in the description, I worked 12 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. And I told them I worked there like 2 years or something. And then I put that I worked tank cleaning, and I think I put that for like 3 years. So that adds up a total of 5 years of experience, and no, 6 years of experience. And a lot of that experience was 12-hour jobs, 12-hour a day jobs, 5 to 6 days a week with crazy overtime. So they're like, okay, this guy works hard. Then when I was trying to get a job at the hotel, which if you already know my story, I didn't really have to try too much because they approached me. The hiring manager approached me, but I didn't tell them about any of my 12-hour shift jobs at all. I told them about my fast food jobs, and I told them that I was a manager at one point, which I almost was. I said I was a manager at one point, so I know how to deal with customers. I know how to handle situations. So it's like, by telling that small lie on an application, not in life, on the application, it gives you, that leg up on other people. Plus, you're kind of telling the truth because you do have that experience, just not the amount of time. And again, you can master most jobs from 6 to 9 months. Like when I was working at the hotel, I mastered the hotel, and I wasn't there that long because hurricane hit and stuff like that. I was probably there like 7 months, and I mastered it to where she wanted me to be a manager at the hotel. So if I went to work at another hotel and I told them I got 5 years experience and they put me anywhere in the hotel, guess what? I can handle it because I mastered the job to where they was going to make me a manager. So as an employee, so that's why I say 6 to 9 months, because that gives you enough time to master your job. And then if you were to tell a small fib on the application and extending your time and not mentioning other odd jobs, you actually have better chances and better odds at getting that job. Quick little tip there for those who are saying like, oh, you got all these jobs and they're not going to hire you because you're not reliable. Nobody checks. And if they do call, most of the time they're going to call your old employer, like when you put the number and be like, hey, did first and last name work here? Yes, he did. Oh, tell me about him. How was his work ethic and stuff like that? That's why I say always do your absolute best at any job. Even if you hate that job, even if you talk crap about the job, when you're at work, do your absolute best just in case that job call. They'll be like, man, this guy was a great worker. I highly recommend him. So it's going to be better all the time. Most of the time, they're not, how long did he work here? And if they did ask, oh, well. So when you figure out what jobs you hate and what industries drain you, and then also what kind of work you actually enjoy, you're more likely and closer to finding out what you're good at and what pays well enough to support your goals that you're willing to do long term, like truck driving. Truck driving, you're solo on the road for long hours, but I was on the boat where you got to work for a month straight. So it kind of put me in a situation where I know what I like, I know what I don't like, I know what I will and will not tolerate. So it gives me better opportunities, and now I have a better focus and mindset on what I would be willing to do for a living. So don't let anybody tell you that you got to stick to one place forever. That is a lie, especially in your late teens and early 20s. In my opinion, those are the years to explore, to learn, to grind, to build yourself, build your character, get your skill tree up, work as many jobs as you can, stack up that experience, collect those skills like money. Like I said, build that character up. If you ever played Payday 2, man, you got to build that skill tree. Now, if you don't know Payday 2, there's other games that, same thing, Modern Warfare, whatever. But anyway, when it's time to settle into that long-term career, you know exactly what's right for you. And you'll be walking right into it with confidence in that mug. But anyway, y'all, this is your boy Speech, and you just tuned into A Brighter Community. If you're watching this video, you're already in it. You're part of the community, baby. Whether you subscribe or not, you in this mug. You part of this family, B. So go ahead and hit that like switch. Get it? I don't know if y'all be getting it or not. I said hit the light switch. That means like the video, but Brighter Community, turn the light on, light switch, speak your truth. That means like leave a comment in the comment section. Like y'all gotta keep up now. I don't want to have to explain it to y'all now. Now y'all family, but y'all might be a little slow. You might be a little retarded. Now I ain't like these other YouTubers that's gonna always be like, oh man, y'all the best. Y'all might be a little slow now. Might be a little retarded, so I gotta explain it to y'all. You see what I'm saying? And I'm from Louisiana, so if you ain't get it, that's crazy. We got the lowest education in the country. So, hey, if you ain't get it, bro, your light switch ain't on. But anyway, y'all, again, man, it's your boy Speech. Welcome to A Brighter Community. Hit that light switch, speak your truth, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. I love y'all, and I'm out. Peace.